Good day, my audience at home. Welcome to Fame Global Academy. I'm your regular instructor on marketing. Last time we talked about entrepreneurship, which is almost synonymous to proprietorship. We said he takes decision on his own. We talked about the skills that helps an entrepreneur. We made mention of communication skill, and we said every entrepreneur have to go for this skill to enable them track some profit into their pocket. We talk about leadership. We talk about time management. All this one we said an entrepreneur undertake to ensure a very good business operation. Today we want to look at another topic entirely, which is warehousing. Now, warehouse happen to be one of the functions in marketing. Every businessman have a function to sustain goods produced, because like we have said initially that there is no amount of commodity you produce today that will go to the market, where circulated in the market, and will be consumed the same day. It is not possible. So in marketing, we have one of the functions of marketing as warehousing. So every businessman make provision for warehouse, where to store goods. Now, goods are stored in a warehouse pending on when the need for those goods arises. Goods are stored in warehouse pending on when the need for those goods, when those goods will be needed in the public. So that is the essence of a warehouse. So we say it's an activity that provides storage. It's an activity that provides storage facility for the producer. In fact, for every producer, warehouse very paramount. And not only the producer, to a wholesaler as well, very paramount too. Then to a retailer, same, very paramount too. That provision has to be made available for goods you are buying. For instance, even a retailer self who go to buy maybe one bag or one carton or one basket of fresh tomatoes. What is the probability that these fresh tomatoes today consumer will pick them today and finish them? It is not possible. So a retailer, either a wholesaler or a producer makes provision. If not, they accumulate a lot of locks in storing their goods. So it's a function, it's a business activity that provides storage facility. Now, having talked about warehouse, now what are the functions of this warehouse? We have said that this one has to do with storage facility. So this one has to do with what? Storage facility. Now we talked about the functions of warehouse. Functions of warehouse. Now, even before this function, we'll talk about the types. Okay, but these functions, they are engrafted inside what I'm going to mention to you now. Now, we have what we refer to as provision of security of these goods. Like what I've said before, that you cannot produce a large commodity today and all of them will be circulated in the market today or tomorrow. No. So we talked about provision of security. Provision of security of these goods. Provision of these goods, provision of security of the goods until the customer come to pick them. So there's need for what we refer as well provision of security. The items have to be secure. The item has to be either securing it from perishing, from getting damage, or from theft. Provision is made available here whereby it is kept in a good place. Two things are involved here. One is they are being shifted away from theft, and the other one, they are being shifted away from spoilage. They are being shifted away from being damaged. So you have provision of security. Then we talked about the next one is stability. Stability of price. Stability of price. Now, a market, you can't do away with customers who will come and do what we call market survey. Market survey. So, as a businessman here, your price must tally with every other prices in the market. So, we talk about stability of price. So, even the goods in the warehouse, you didn't buy them today, and most likely you may not sell them tomorrow. Okay, so the price has to flow with what you have currently in the market. If not, there will be what problem. So we have that warehousing helps to guarantee what we refer to as what stability of price. Now the next one is provision of storage of goods. Provision of storage. So number 3, you have storage of goods. Now these ones, they all come in different capacity. They all come in different capacity depending on the goods you want to preserve, depending on the goods you want to put in a warehouse. So they all have different levels of facility where these goods can be stored. So we talk about what provision of storage. Provision of storage. Just like I've said, that there are levels of what you want to keep in different segments, even in the warehouse. So you don't just enter the warehouse and just dump the goods there. No. So there are items that have to be positioned in different levels, in different ways. So you don't put meat, or put a crayfish, or put tomatoes, mix up. No, they have different storage facility inside the same warehouse. Now the next one is it makes it possible for manufacturer. In fact, this one makes it possible for the manufacturer to produce more. So we said that one of the function is that what it makes it possible for the manufacturer to produce more. Now, in as much as you are producing and the goods are leaving, what happens to you as a manufacturer or as a producer? One way, you may want to go around the clock. Why? Because the patronage is high, the demand of the goods you are producing is high. So if people are on the queue, like vehicles are on the queue to fuel stations, of course today the oil producing or the refinery, they are the major selling business people, because every day there must be sales. There must be sales that in such a way that there is no tricycle or motorcycle or cars anywhere in the world that will not have anything to do with fuel station. So you must go there. Nigeria as a country have not advanced to a level of recharging electronic cars, and even by the time they come to the level of having electronic cars too, the charging center too, vehicle has to be on the queue for their vehicle to be on the road. So the only way your vehicle can be on the road is that you have given the vehicle what it needs to sustain the vehicle for the period. So for fuel station, you must go there and queue. Now for people who are into a bakery, of course people are consuming food on a daily basis. This morning now people are taking a breakfast, so they go to bakery to buy. Either that they are going to the retailer or the wholesaler. Each of all these ones goes to the producer where these goods are manufactured. And like I'm saying that this provision makes it easy for the manufacturer to produce more. Now that the goods are leaving, he can go ahead to produce. But if by the time you are producing plenty lot of goods and patronage is low, instead of maybe producing using about 5 bags of flour to produce your bread, because the one you are producing is still there. This one is not the one you can recycle. You can't recycle bread, except on the ground that work you have a better facility to keep them. If you buy a loaf of bread in your house, if you don't have a fridge to take care of this bread, in the next 2 days you may have to trash it. Why? Because there is no proper facility to preserve this bread. So when you have this provision made available, you discover that the manufacturer is at free, is at liberty to produce more goods. So we say it makes it possible for the producer to produce more. Now, this same warehouse again, everything I'm saying here, they are all encapsulated inside, the types of warehouse. Now, the same warehouse too is a provision tool number 5. There are what we call contraband. Contraband goods. Contraband goods are as well kept in the warehouse. Contraband goods are kept in the warehouse. Now, by the word contraband, it simply means that these goods are not allowed into the country. So by the time the people in the customs intercept these goods, the next thing is they are being kept in warehouse. And keeping goods in the warehouse in either the seashore, it's not a permanent home for your goods. So we have time lag where these goods can stay in the warehouse. And if it is not needed, of course, you can always see in the television where goods are burnt. These goods are substandard, are satisfied by the customs. These goods can be kept for some times and perhaps allowed into the country. So warehouse, take care of goods that are not needed in the country. Okay, so after some, logical reasonings, if it is possible to ship it into the country, they can ship it. But most of these contraband are born by the end of the day. And that is why every producer who is going to, other international markets, to buy goods into the country, you must first and foremost get a satisfaction of the product you are buying. If the product is substandard, definitely it must have to be tracked down. And when it's tracked down, there is no two ways about it. You will incur heavy loss. And I want to believe that there is no businessman out there that want to incur loss in business. Every businessman want to make profit. And that is why we are out there on a daily basis to ensure we make a profit. Now, The next one there is dutable goods. Now, dutable goods are as well kept in the warehouse. Now, these ones too are equally intercepted. Now, just like you have, this men in the wharf, they are there to ensure that no anyhow goods enter into the country. So when these goods are intercepted, they are kept in the warehouse. And like what I've said before, in this case, there are dutable fee that has to be paid. The warehouse designed either by public or by individual or by bond warehouse. They are not designed there to keep your goods for you. No, there are time limits, there are time lag that these goods can stay in the warehouse. And inability for you to come and claim your goods within the time allotted, they will auction those goods. You have no, you have no auction rather than to lose that goods. They will auction it to ensure that they pay for what we refer to as most at time fee attached to keeping your goods in the warehouse. So if your goods are being intercepted and kept in the warehouse, know fully well you are going to pay some amount of money. Just like even today, government, it is believed that government own all the land, and there is a point where you get to, you will be required by the government to pay what we call an annual rent. So even this building, the owner pay annual rent. Any building you see in the world, they pay what we call annual rent. Government have a way of tracking their money because it is believed that they own all the land. So when goods are intercepted and kept in the warehouse, that is not the end of it. They will give you a time space to come and reclaim those goods. Now, this same warehouse, number 7, this same warehouse, we discovered that they equally play some roles of rental services. Rental services. So just like we rent, event center, so you can as well rent warehouse that you want to store your goods for a period of time here. It's business. Anybody who have designed a warehouse anywhere in the world, the person have designed it for business. Just like people build houses today and they put tenants there. So each of these activity here is geared towards making money, tracking money into your pocket. So sometimes too, this same warehouse, plays a rental service rule. All we need is money. All we need is money. So as a businessman out there in a business school, you know fully well that warehousing is a storage facility that stores goods for a period of time. Now here, it's not only goods that are stored. Human being too can rent, this warehouse, store their goods there, just like you have, land barons. They build and put tenants there. The whole excess is that by the end of the day, money enter their hands. So here, they generate income. This one generates income. From this function here, they generate income. So every businessman, every day, we're just sitting down and we're thinking, doing analytic thinking, looking for a way to generate money. Money does not fall from heaven. Okay, but human beings, they sit down and play a lot of critical analysis to track money into their pocket. Now, these goods that are in the warehouse, sometimes the owners keep them there for some purposes. So part of those purposes could be blending or packaging and packaging and branding. Packaging and branding. Now, the businessman have decided to put this, goods in the warehouse for some purpose, for some, purpose. One, we said to blend. Let's make sure that our business, what we're producing, our commodity, fit into the market. So he takes some time again, do some market survey. He return back again to the warehouse and think of how to do, with these items there. Just like, in fact, they are almost the same thing. Packaging. He will want to redesign his business. So every businessman anywhere in the world, sit down and take some good look on how to rebrand the business, because we are looking for something that will attract the attention of the public, not bringing something that people are not interested in. So one, the eighth function of warehouse is that these goods are kept in the warehouse, not just for the goods to be sleeping there, not just for the goods to be stored there for as against a storage of theft, but they are kept there to redesign it. Now you have plenty lot of bags of rice now out there. Now there are some of these bags of rice that have stayed in the warehouse for some time. The owner of these bags of rice have decided to go and rebrand it. They have decided to go and rebrand it, give it another name that is not common. Yes, like this Christmas season now, you see plenty lot of rice in circulation, and either the wholesaler or the major retailer will be telling you, okay, this one is good. This one just came into the market now. We had one time that is called the Boo. That rice is a good rice. We enjoyed, the Boo. But all of a sudden, the Boo disappeared from the market. So plenty names have been given to a lot of, rice. Today now we had one we call mango rice. See, even cap rice now, we don't even get most of this rice, in circulation. The issue with this people is that every day we are rebranding. Every day we are rebranding, and the whole essence of rebranding this product here is to ensure that we get more attention. Because somebody who have eaten a cap rice now and is tired of eating a cap rice, most of the time there will be some shortfall in the patronage of cap rice. So what do you do as a businessman having your goods store here? The next one is to think of a name. It's the same person. It's the same person producing it. They just change name. Just like if you go to medical work today, you'll be seeing different brands of paracetamol. Different company producing paracetamol. So A will tell you my own is finer, B will tell you my own is finer. It's just the name. Paracetamol remain paracetamol. Give it, amlodipine and the rest of them. Give it another name you want to give it to them. The issue is that this, product remain what they are. The only thing they can do sometimes is maybe to add more flavor, make it again more standard. But most of the time, it's name that we are changing. In business, it's name we are changing. We just blend to make sure that it fits into other one. So having eaten chinchin at one time, the recent chinchin called mimi is the old chinchin. It's just that they just add some little flavor because that is what entails in business. We try to add flavor, just to get, the customers, get our clients to, patronize what we are doing. Now, this function I just mentioned here just encapsulated, even the types. But you still have functions of warehouse. Functions of warehouse. Now, I've just explained the broader form of this function of a warehouse. The first one is function of a warehouse. Now, this is functions of warehousing. The first one is functions of a warehouse. What the warehouse, the role of the warehouse. Now, here again is what functions of warehousing. Okay, so the first one is a place that have been designed to keep these goods. Now, this one again is the activity that goes on in this warehouse. Now, we have said storage. So here you have storage of goods. So majorly for warehouse, it is designed to store goods. Then 2 is protection of goods. Protection of goods, is having a reflection of what we have said before. The activities that goes on in a warehousing, or company. We said protection of goods. is protected from the theft, protected from damage. It's kept there until the demand for it comes up. The whole essence is that stay here until the demand of this item comes in. Just like we have most of our nursery school today, you see children in a play class. There is something that they do there. They will put a cartoon for them. They work a cartoon for almost like 6 hours. The parents have said to allow them to stay there. Stay here. I will pay money so that I can run around for other activities. So school too is equally designed by cartel. Keep them there. Let them be learning some things, because I have to run around for some other money. So if by the end of the day, staying in this class will cost me 6,000 naira, and in a month I have to run around for something like 200,000, there is no need carrying you up and down. I have to go and keep you in the daycare. Stay there, whereby by the end of the day I can confidently remove 6,000 naira to pay for all that you have enjoyed in where you were. Now we said part of the functioning is that debts are being averted from this point, and of course it's kept there for a due time to be collected. Then part of the activities that goes on here too is risk bearing. Risk bearing, of course, anybody that works in a warehouse don't fully aware that you are undertaking a major risk, because theft can break in, and by the end of the day, what will you be telling the owner of those business or the owner of those goods? You be the one to bear the brunt. Okay, so if theft entered bank and carted away the money there, the owners of the money will come. They will only sympathize with you, but the issue there is that what you must go and borrow to make sure that what you pay them, because they kept their money in the bank to pick it in a very good time. So if you have designed a way to cause them pain, they will just they will just sympathize with you for some time. But the issue there is that no fully aware that as a banker you are bearing risks of people's money. So even when you're enjoying the money, enjoying good house, enjoying good cars, have it at the back of your mind that you are bearing what big risk of working in the bank, because if anything happens, the public will hold you responsible. See, even outside the bank too, you have those ones that are doing a daily pay too. Okay, so all these ones, they are all bearing risk. Okay, so if goods are kept in a warehouse, the owner of the warehouse, you must make a good provision in such a way to secure people's goods. Because if by the end of the day anything happen or fire burn their goods, well, we only sympathize with it for some time, but the issue is that you pay us for the goods. You pay us for the goods. That's how it goes. Then the fourth one here, the fourth functions is financing. Financing. Business need money. So any part of business in the world, there is no part of the business in the world that does not require finance. And this finance can be generated from personal savings. Finance are tracked from personal saving. Then sometimes too, people go to take soft loan, and that is why you have plenty financial institutions in the world today. You need money within the space of 24 hours, they will give you the money. But the issue there is that have it at the back of your mind that you will pay plenty lot of what percentage to them. And of course, anywhere in the world you see these people that run this financial institution, they are millionaires. Not just a millionaire, most of them are billionaires. Where are they taking this money from? From people's pocket. You want to do business? We are there to offer you the services. And that is why even in this department too, you have marketers are everywhere marketing this financial institution. And they are paid based on what you are able to bring to them by the end of the day. And that is why you see marketers are given target. So finance cannot be ruled out from business. So in warehouse, the owner of this business decide to rent a warehouse. Somebody have built a warehouse, somebody elsewhere will come and rent the warehouse. So you now who have rented the warehouse, you need money. either to rent it or to build it, and to pay the workers that are working there. To pay the workers that are working there. Then the next one there is next version is processing. Just like I said before, that these goods are kept there, either that we want to blend these goods, or that we want to rebrand it, or that we want to repackage it. The warehouse play a role of processing processing goods. So goods are kept in the warehouse, in this facility for the time, that the owner will want to need it. Then we talked about branding. So even branding too, they are part of the functions I have mentioned earlier. Branding. We just want to redesign the business. We only just redesigning the business. Coca-Cola is still Coca-Cola till tomorrow. Linker is Linker till tomorrow. Okay, so what the owners are doing now is, let's just add little flavor to what we're doing. We just want to attract customers. Like this season now, they are painting, they are putting plenty lot of color to their business. Like now, if you go to a bank now, bank that have not given you a sweet since the beginning of the year, put a plate of a sweet tonton and the rest of them. What are we doing here? We want to make sure that we are trying, we are working. They if it's in cooking, they say garnish. They just want to garnish what they are doing. They just want to rebrand what they are doing. So that is a major function, of a businessman, to rebrand. Because the issue is that there's no goods now you are producing. There's no new thing now you want to produce on earth. Goods are already there. So what people do today is to look at your product, they look at the content of this product, and they think of what to add to it. Bakery is bakery anywhere in the world. But what makes it different from B, different from C, is the flavor they are adding into their business. Now, finally, on the function of this warehouse is transport. Transportation. Of course, you need to move your goods about. Goods, transportation, you cannot do away with transportation. So it is movement of both goods and woman. It is a movement of both goods and woman, depending on when the need arises. Even from the warehouse, you move your goods away from the warehouse to where it's needed. So human being is moving, and as far as goods is moving too. Wheelbarrow does not stay in one place. So you must push the wheelbarrow. So in as much as you are advancing the wheelbarrow, you are equally moving. You are equally moving. Now, we'll pick advantages of warehouse. Having talked about the functions, we looked at the advantages. The advantages of warehouse. Now, we have said it before that part of the function include protection of these goods from theft and being spoiled. So here we talk about protection and preservation. Protection and preservation of goods. So these goods, one of the advantage they enjoy from warehouse, one is that they enjoy protection and preservation of goods. Today we have co-room have been built by an individual to generate money. Even today's market has equally been built by individual. Somebody built a market somewhere there, and he has, people have come to rent those shops, and the man too is paying a rent too to local government, paying to state. Now the person who have designed this thing, he designed it for profit making. So one, we say protection and preservation of goods is one of the advantages of warehousing. Then the other one there is regular flow of goods. regular flow of goods. If this facility is not being designed, most of the time, a producer may not be able to provide this facility. So, but you have some major cartels, major wholesalers who can just design, a warehouse, and of course, they are giving this man a helping hand. In fact, most of wholesaler, they are richer than producers. Producer is just managing, in fact, even the producer is even being sponsored. Wholesaler sponsored the producer to produce goods and equally build facility. Just like today, there are people that have landed property along the road, and most of the time they put it for lease. And when they put it for lease, you see people coming, okay, I want to build plaza here. You say okay. They enter into what we call MOU, memorandum of what understanding, so that by the end of the day, I'll be getting some royalty from this business. So, and sometimes it can be 10 years, it can be 20 years, but the issue is that the owner of the land is enjoying rent, is enjoying money from this facility. And part of the the agreement is that by the time you said you don't want to continue again, this property will be returned back to the owner. Or X, if you want to pull your property, you can pull it. Now, most of these clauses will be made available there. If it's okay for you, you can go ahead. But if it's not okay for you, you can think otherwise. So we have that this warehouse. One of the advantages is that regular flow of goods. The goods are in the warehouse. The goods are in the warehouse. So even when the one will happen is all finish, there is always flow. And even by the time we want to return some goods to the warehouse, so we're at liberty to return these goods again back to the warehouse, where these goods can be properly preserved. Then the next one is continuity in production. Continuity in production. Just like what I said before, that in as much as goods are living, from where it's being produced, in as much as goods are living from where it's being produced, the person producing can produce more. But in as much as the goods we are producing are not living, the issue there is that production becomes low. So we look at the demand of goods outside there before we make a supply. In economy, you cannot do away with demand and supply. The law of demand and supply. So there must be demand, and we look at the demand of the people before we make supply, before we produce. Because if you produce above the demand, by the end of the day, just like we talk in the marketing a concept, mass production. People produce items massively, anticipating that, of course, anybody producing goods, their mind is stretched to these goods must leave the market today. But the issue here is that most of the time, the goods too, you are desiring that will leave the market today may not leave the market. So everything that has grown in life has come. So you have continuity in production. So in as much as goods are living, we are producing more. But if the goods are not living, the production becomes less. So we look at the demand of goods before we make our supply. And for us to make a supply, that means we can produce because the demand is high. Each time demand is high, of course, supply too will be high. The businessman is happy. The businessman is making money. Imagine an Igbo man the other day we're moving. So he was saying, what is 300,000 naira to me? If that 300,000 naira go, there's no problem. I looked at the man, I said, this man is a big man. Somebody is, letting go of 300,000. A common man in the street, that is a whole lot of money they have invested into the business. That man can be crying for a long period of time, like, he lost 300,000. But to some persons, they are not a bother. So you have continuity in production. In as much as there's demand, of course, there will be more supply. Other advantages include convenient location. Convenient location. This warehouse should be, strategized to where people can always go without having fear in mind. So one of the advantages is that, goods are kept in a convenient location, so that even if it is night, even if it is day or be day, we can conveniently go there and collect our goods. But if it's kept in a very unclear direction, people may be scared of going there. People will be scared. Just like when you're entering a place, you don't know where you're going to, and the bike man is carrying to one end. Before you know, you too, you are equally scared. The next is, stop. Let me make some inquiry. Okay, so one of the advantages is, convenient location. Convenient location. Now, other one include easy handling. The warehouse make provision for all this, provision, either as a function or as an advantage. It shouldn't be something that we will be cracking our head to pick. It shouldn't be something we will be cracking our head to keep. It shouldn't be something that will be giving us heart attack when we are handling it. So it should be something that we can do it at ease. So we said easy handling. Part of the advantage is easy handling. Then we have creation of employment. Creation of employment. Of course, businessmen are creating more employment. No wonder while one-time president of Nigeria, he said, if I can have 5 persons like Dangote, in Nigeria, he said, I go to, sleep. I go to sleep. That, a statement he made that time, he's still ringing bell in me. If I can have 5 persons like Dangote, I go to sleep. So you have here what we refer as what? Employment creation. So he said, if I can have 5 persons like Dangote, he said, I go to sleep. That's the thing. Of course, today in the world, Dangote does not have a competitor. He is undertaking different sectors. And look at the number of this, person this man have employed, even in Nigeria. Everywhere you go to, you must see the truck moving. Any shop you enter, any shop where the salesman is there. In fact, 36A plus FCT is there. Not even only cement, he has even diversified. In fact, he's such a man that people should learn from. Now, he has diversified in the realms of, academy, a commodity, and even things like cement and the rest of them. Now, today too, if you talk about, the spiritual part of, production, activity in the world today, you talked about living faith. He has churches all over the world, and you have pastors there. So what has this man done now? In fact, I think the second man in Nigeria is Bishop Oyedepo. God bless that man. God bless that man. Because it's not even only churches now, and bringing pastors, preaching the gospel everywhere. Now, he has, bakery, pure water company. In fact, different company. In fact, Oyedepo on his own too is an entrepreneur. You remember previously we were talking about entrepreneur. These people, they are designed, they design the business themselves. They take decision on themselves, and they make employment for people. Of course, they hire and fire. And so don't think that the church too does not fire pastor. Church too fire pastors too. When you misbehave, they fire you. Even as Dangote is too. Dangote, he hires and fire. So if you must work with these two cartels, there are other major cartels, but this one, they are known to us. And we are celebrating them today, in the war, because of the employment opportunity they have created for the public. Now, part of these advantages include the availability of finance. Just like what I said before, that a wholesaler provide finance. Availability of finance. Everybody need money, but there are people today in the world they have the money, but they don't have the business, idea. So they don't know what to do with the money. So, but by the time you now come, okay, please, so this is what I am into. If you can help us, you'll be having reality for months. You have reality. So by the end of the month, see, there are young boys today who are going to school and they study pharmacy. Most of the pharmaceutical, company you have in the world today, check the name there. They won't tell you that the owner of this certificate is not here. So some person, I know some, they have some who say we are even advertising the certificate. Who want to buy my certificate? Just buy. They are doing other business, there, anywhere in the world. So some person have sold their certificate. But the issue there is that they didn't just sell it for just a selling cycle. These guys are getting their royalty every month. Of course, you enter MOU that by the end of the day, this one comes to me. Is it okay for you? He said, yes, it's okay for me. And of course, if you just sit down in your house or be doing one or two small business, and every month 300,000 naira is entering your pocket, and even that 300,000, they tell you this money is subject for review. Okay, so as time goes by, we think of reviewing this business. So somebody can be sleeping in the house, and maybe in a month, 500,000 enter his account outside whatever thing that he's doing. So also a business. Everybody in the world today went to business, because even God himself, even after he has created the world, he said, be fruitful and multiply. So God is happy that the earth has been multiplied, the earth has been subdued. Okay, so today you can't do without God. Okay, so he's a major government, in the universe. He's a major government. In fact, he's a major entrepreneur in the world. He has no competitor. The one in the heavens, he manage it. The one on the earth, he manage it. And even the one underneath, he manage it too. So our Father is a business being. So even the children too, they equally work all business entity. Then finally, on this note, we talked about the reduction of risks of loss. Okay, so one of the advantages there is that it helps to reduce. In fact, the man here is an advisor. Wholesaler or retailer is an advisor. Advisor to the producer. Okay, slow down. We don't have much patronage. They give you an idea. So if you are producing 5 bags of flour to get bread, now we have seen that in the market there are some little complaints. So the thing is not moving as expected. This meant to offer an advice. Just like you are hearing me all over the world. There, you have a space in the system to say, what is this? How can this thing be? You ask your question, and by the end of the day, we pick what you have said and redesign it to make sure that what you are better, you are way better place. So all we are doing here is to ensure that even our clients are well taken care of. Okay, so we said reduction of risk. So instead of you incurring loss, we help you to minimize it. We help you to minimize it. If there is need for you to go and produce, we can say go ahead and produce. But if there is less need, we can tell you reduce your speed. Just like a passenger in a vehicle, you can always tell a driver slow down. It's for the good of all of us. You too, as a driver, need to be alive to continue your business. Need to be alive to patronize you tomorrow. So advice flows from this point to whosoever on top, the producer. So you have the producer, you have the wholesaler, you have the retailer, and you have the consumer. Okay, the consumer and even the final consumer. The final consumer is the last bus stop where people come and pick this item. All right, we have been on warehousing since. So for a recap, I said the warehousing is a facility designed by a businessman to store his goods until the items are needed, until the commodities are needed. We went further to talk about functions of warehouse. We said one of the functions has to do with provision of security. anything you do, any business you are embarking on, you must have security consciousness in mind. So you don't just put a warehouse without having a security guard there. Of course, you have your business owner today, their own is give you security to secure your business. So today, anywhere in the world, you see security men. In school, security men are there. In different business centers, they are out there. By the time you have gone home, these security people, they are there. Of course, it's part of the functions that, employment creation. So as a businessman, you must spend money on security. Then we talked about the stability of prices. So items are kept in this warehouse to ensure that we get a very fixed price in the market. And because if your commodity is high in the market, patronage will reduce. But if the patronage in your own is too high, you must do survey. Why is this item? Why are people rushing it? My neighbor say, people are coming to buy. The way they were coming to buy a premium soap in my shop, I didn't know that the premium soap has gone high. Okay, so this man, he didn't do what we refer to as what proper market survey. So, of course, he cannot go to the market again now with that same price to buy premium soap. So items are kept in the warehouse for us, to have what we refer to as well stability of price. Okay, so we just sit down, do market survey, return back to the market again, and fix it whereby everybody is selling the same thing. Most of the time, when you go to some shops, you discover that item in point A and the one in point B, they are the same. But why we just prefer A or B is because of the disposition, the way they do their business. So we talked about, of course, it is a storage facility. Warehouse is a storage facility. Then we said it makes it possible for the manufacturer. This provision makes it possible for the manufacturer to produce more. So it's an avenue whereby I can go ahead to produce. But if there is no warehouse, there will be a problem of producing more. If you don't have a fridge in your house this season, you can't go and say, okay, let me join them to contribute money to kick out. If you follow them to kick out this season, and you don't have a proper way to store it, so where do you go from here? Okay, you make a 10 pot of a soup. Okay, no fridge to store it. That simply means that every day you warm this soup. In fact, warming, when you come to warming, you warm this soup, you warm this soup, you warm the other one, you warm the other one. Gas is going. But if you have a proper way of storing it, these items soup can go to where we can store it, and the thing will just freeze and stay there like 6 months before we remember that there's one soup in the fridge. There are some places where you go to, they will say, Chimaroke, I think, is it not soup here? Oh, Ghana soup now. When do you make this soup, sir? He said, okay, I can't even remember. They will bring it out again and warm it, and journey continue. Now we said these items are kept in warehouse. Part of these items that are kept in the warehouse, are kept. They were being intercepted from people moving illegal goods. They are being tracked from people moving illegal goods. So the warehouse, the warehouse itself, is a place where contraband goods are kept. Then you have what we call dutable ones. These ones, we have tried to intercept it. It has to stay here for some time until clearance is made. And like I said before, that warehouse is not designed for you to keep your goods for a long period of time. So if your goods are in a warehouse, you have a time lag, and after the time lag, we will auction those goods to pay the rent. So your goods are kept here today. It's not for free. So a time will come that what, in fact, as it is today, we have charged you this amount of money. Tomorrow we will charge you for this amount of money. Even students who finish from a university, most of them have not collected their certificate for 10 years. You think that when you are going back to the school will give it to you free? Just ordinary paper. In fact, it's not even ordinary paper, but you may call it ordinary paper. That certificate, you can't just pick it. They will tell you, this certificate has stayed here for a period of 10 years. It has attracted amount of money. You'll be speaking grammar, which money is not just paper. You just call it just paper. And by the end of the day, they will tell you are paying 30,000 naira. He said, you too will be reacting. Am I paying another school fees? That's just it. Do you want the paper? Yes, if you want the paper, this is what goes with it. You know, so police will not even track your vehicle. Say your vehicle misbehaved on the road and kept it in the station, and tomorrow you will come to pick it. No, you must all pay for it. We said that this thing to warehouse equally provide what we call rental services. Okay, we can say to come and rent it for a period of time. Just like you have this billboard outside there, people rent it now. You don't just come and hang your what's called flex there. Your banner. You see your own, except that you are the one that designed it for yourself. But if you design it for yourself too, you pay money to the local government. So anywhere in the world, you decide to put in fact, all the signboard anywhere in the world, they are being charged. Because you are using it to advertise your business. So there are money, some percentage of money going to local government. And it does not end there. Equally get to states too. They call it part of the IGR, internal generated revenue. So we talked about these goods are kept there. One, for blending, for packaging, and rebranding. So people keep their items there for rebranding. Now the activities that go on there, this one is the house itself. Now the activity that goes on there, we said majorly is to secure your goods. Majorly is to secure your goods. Majorly is to keep the goods there until the need comes up. Then we said you don't just say you are built a warehouse, you go to sleep. You must make provision for security, because the items we kept there, if it goes missing, you be the one to bear the brunt. Okay, so you must create an employment. Just like we talked in advantage, you must create an employment for somebody to be watching those goods there. So you bear the risk, you finance it. Some other items are kept there for processing. Part of processing, they are part of branding. You are branding your business. You are branding it. It is Coca-Cola, it's still a Coca-Cola till tomorrow, but we just rebrand it. There was no can before, but today Coca-Cola have designed a can. So different persons have designed. They are redesigning it. There is nothing we are reproducing again on earth. Everything have been produced, so we are all just rebranding it. Then transportation, you can't do without transportation in business. The owner of this business must have left a point to this place. All of us are migrating from one point to another. Then we talked about the advantage. The goods are protected, should be protected. So we talk about protection and preservation. We talk about regular flow. There should be regular flow. Okay, so this where a facility is designed to ensure regular flow. Then we talk about continuity in production. Continuity in production. If it's not there, there's nothing like continuity in production. But because warehouse is there, we are enjoying what we call continuity in production as producer. Then we talk about convenient location. It should be in a place whereby you won't be scared going there. Just like today in the war, if you want to buy land and they are taking you to a particular direction, even you too on your own become scared. Okay, where will they go? We never reach. No. You see, oftentimes you see some clients say no. I'm not going again. And you as a baron, you want to convince your client, we're almost there. He will tell no. I don't like this location. So in siting a warehouse, it must be a place very convenient for people to locate. Then we talked about availability of finance. Business cannot go without finance. Business cannot go without finance. Then we talk about reduction of risk. Now this person provide plenty lot of advice to the people up. These persons, they are everywhere. It's not only in the market. We have them in different places in the world. Okay, how about if we do it like this, or if we do it the other way? Okay, like our churches now where we are running three services. Okay, so keeping everybody under one service is uncontrollable. Having almost 6,000 persons in a service, and of course, if you don't make better provision even in that one single service, cars will be missing. And of course, like we have talked previously, about space. that you don't come for, you know, a patronage in a particular place, and by the end of the day your car is missing, or whatever thing is missing. So today, you know, advice have been released from some point, and we now look at it. This one is good. Of course, now we now make it first service 6 to 7:30. The next one continue, and we don't need to 12. And of course, it creates an atmosphere for you to, as a worshipper, to design the one to go. So also it is to the people in the business world. Okay, so sometimes we eat bread and you jam a stone inside. What do? The person bringing it, oga, stone dey this una bread. Okay, so if by the time I complain, B complain, C complain, D complain, will you not return the same message to where you are bringing the bread? He will return the message. Perhaps they are not washing their palm. They are not washing their palm. And of course, most of them into a bakery too, they are not washing their palm. So, but by the time they get this complaint from people, they resort to this way, because the issue is that the major people that makes it to be out there, they are the consumer. Give them 100% satisfaction. So to you out there as our student who are learning, you learn this one to pass your exam under Fame Global Academy. We want to encourage you to keep watching Fame Global Academy and keep subscribing, keep linking this information to your friends so that people can sit down at home. Sit down at home and learn. I've said previously that people sit down at home to write GCE. Okay, even in those itself, we didn't even go to any LS itself. We bought syllabus, and we sat, at home and we read for GCE. And by the end of the day, we passed and we went to school. So you can sit down at home and watch Fame Global Academy, and enjoy the lesson. So please, since time, next session will be on this channel, giving you this idea. And to you who is in a business proper, because this one is not only designed for children, it's equally designed for adults. These provisions are made available. So if you are out there, you don't know what is called a warehouse. I've told you now today that it's a storage facility. Storage facility. I just gave you an example of cold room. What do you see in cold room? People go there to keep fish. So the fish today that that they have killed, from River Niger, will you sell all of them today? You will not sell all of them today. So what happened by the end of the day? It is packaged. It is packaged and sent to where? Cold room. And from time to time, people come to cold room to pick this item. And when they pick this item, where they send it to? They send it to retailer come to pick it, or those smaller shops come to pick it, and it's heading to where? Final consumer. Final consumer is the last bus stop where we consume this product. So as a businessman, you must design a warehouse facility. As a businessman, you must design a warehouse facility so that you can keep your goods for a long period of time to reduce plenty losses in business. Because of course, you cannot rule out loss in business. But why people incur plenty lot of loss is that they didn't study the business properly and they didn't make actual provision. So when this provision is made available in business, you will enjoy your own profit, and your client will be enjoying their own profit. So see you same time next lesson on Fame Global Academy. I remain your regular instructor, Uncle Philip. God bless you.